What's up, y'all? It's Reggie, and let me make sure this. Alright, what's up, y'all? As you see, we got a Bible cam now. I hope y'all like it. Um, yeah, we locked in. We locked in for sure. Alright, so without further ado, let's invite the Lord in. Start marking our charts. Let's get in that mode. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to trade, Lord. Thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to buy this webcam and be able to show them the Bible as I read. Um, I thank you for this opportunity to stream, and Lord, I just ask that your will be done. Lord, allow us to have a green day. I pray that you allow me to read the price action and make a strategic play for how I'm going to enter. Jesus, I just pray that you speak through your Holy Spirit. Give me the words that are of you and not of myself. Allow myself to bear the discipline that I need to be profitable, and just keep teaching me lessons, Lord, and helping me grow. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. So, now that we prayed, now it's just time to get and do the thing, you know? I think a lot of times people overthink, like, how that process is supposed to go when you're doing something with God. It's like once you pray and give it to Him, you just gotta step out in faith. Lord, let me trade in obedience, not in greed. Let discipline lead, not my desire. I pray that your will is done. Let me trade based off the trading plan rules we have established, not my emotions. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So let's look at what we did good, what we did, and what we need to improve. Good job of trailing stop loss and profit. That's something we want to get in the habit of. Um, Paper trading is super like, so don't let it stop you from building good habits. Why did we jump in? Alert went off, so I held the trade. Keep paper trading like it's live market to work on good habits. Now let's get into the market. See what it's doing. Uh, There's some big consolidation between, really I would say between here and here. Under this level is selling off. Up this level is bullish. So we just want to note that for ourselves. Realize your chart work is just to help you. It's not for anybody else. So if you don't understand my chart work, it's not really meant for someone else to necessarily understand it, and vice versa. It means people mark their charts a different way. This would make sense for me, so this is how I mark it. So we had a pull down, big move, then we had the higher low. Then between here we had an indication. Boom, higher lows, broke out, but then we see it comes back in here. So now we could be seeing it build up. So we have expect a higher high. So let's make this green so we see that's what it's showing. Okay, and then we're going to do it for the opposite. So if it ends up pulling down, where would it go? Boom, boom. To make a lower high, then pull back down. I did not mean to. Let me just redo that because that's ugly. So in that case, we need to break this line to be bearish. Bearish. In this case, we're excuse me. In this case, we're going to take T. Now, outside because it's already showed us it can't break out of here. So we're looking for it to do that one more time. Yeah, since it broke this time, we know if it breaks out, it can at least go here and potentially lower. It's just when we marking that and knowing that. Okay, so this is a TP level. I'm gonna say 4 hour time frame so we know. Okay, this is all duplicating there. So we got a level here. We got a level here. We'll say level here. Then we're going to get like a level in the middle between these last ones. Right here. So now we got 5 different levels. Why I like marking like 5 levels is because if it breaks there, now you have 5 different levels where you control your stop loss and know it should be safe levels once it breaks past that. Now, what was this breakout? Now this breakout didn't happen until, must be just on the line, that sucks. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait till the next candle to really actually put that on. You test it down there. Now for if this was to build up, it would make higher lows and build up and then it would break through this line. Notice we do all the chart work on the 4 hours. So when we go to the, when I go to the lower time frames, I can see how. Again, let's find one in the middle of this last one, like right over here. And look, there it is. And now we have our levels marked. Set this alert. is on a downtrend there. We have another lower high. Doesn't make a new low. So we can see potentially the market switching. So now it makes a higher low. Bro, do you remember me? I do, Yash. I do. Appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're doing well. So now we could be seeing, notice since we have a higher low here, it could be switching to uptrend. And now all we have is this so far. So if it switches, we need to break this low. Therefore breaking that line. But once again, you always want to mark which way it could go both ways, as far as sometimes it could fake you out. So we had a high, we had a low, we had a high, then we had another low, we had a high, then we had a low. So this ends up building a higher high. You gotta go like that. What's your strategy? I trade market structure and price action. So I look at the market structure to see what price action should be showing. But I use a higher time frame. So right now I'm seeing it make higher. That is looking. So we had a high, a low. We have straight higher, lower highs, and straight from here, and then the lower low was like it's a little closer, but as you see here, we had higher highs building up and higher lows, but then we switched to lower lows and lower highs, so it's not really respecting. What's your bias? I don't know what all that is. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what's my bias today? What do I think today is gonna show? Honestly, this is building. So we have a high, lower high. It's building on a downtrend on the 4-hour. So I'm seeing if it's gonna respect structure, because if it's respecting structure, it shouldn't break this higher low on the 4-hour. And then on a 4-hour, on a 1-hour is looking more bearish too. So I'm honestly looking for it to, since I already had this indication yesterday, I think today is really going to be the breakout where it breaks this level and shoots the new lows. But what we see here is that this is the lowest point right now. It makes like, so it's what's it called? This is where the market hasn't respected structure yet, because on the 1-hour, because this was the low and then it made this high. But if this pushes back under it, it means it's not respecting structure. So I'm seeing if it's going to respect this sell line and bounce off it, or if it's going to break it. Because if it breaks it, it's like this is the first line we can target. But I honestly think, since we already had that indication and it's been looking to break out, I think once it breaks out of here again, it's going to new high, like lows. Like it might go all the way down here. But like I said, we're gonna take our whatever it shows us. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna be too greedy. Feel me? I wonder if it's only going, if this alert only goes off because I was on the 4-hour. Let's see. Nah, it's still going off because on the 4-hour it's getting hit. Dang, that sucks. Because I can't set my alert how I want it to, because it's still going off because of the 4. But the 1-hour and the 50 build of the 4, sure. Let's get into the word. So, chapter 17, verse 1, it says, "Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and were gathered together at Shechem, and which belongeth to Judah, and pitched between Shechem and Azekah." Oh, nice one. Back. Okay. Back to reading. It says, "And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the valley of Elah, and set the battle in array against the Philistines." So we see that the men of Israel actually initiated the battle versus the Philistines. And it says, And the Philistines stood on a mountain on one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other, and there was a valley between them. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose span was 6 cubits in the span. And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had graves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders. And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam. And his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron. And one bearing a shield went before him. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am I not a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight me and to kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then ye shall be our servants and serve us. So right now, what we see, and I want us to not let that go over our head. We see he is talking hot. So here, let me actually mark this higher low. So this is the higher low that needs respect if it's going to go on that chair. If it breaks this, we can expect it to go. But so we see basically Goliath feeling like the man. He pull up talking crazy. Hey, wolf to wolf, he popping it. He really is popping it. He's basically telling them, if y'all can beat me, we'll be your servants. If y'all can't beat me, y'all gotta be our servants. That's what he's saying. And it shows his confidence. He was super confident. He wasn't thinking that he was gonna lose at all. There was no doubt in his mind because he was super confident. And I realized this shows us an important thing about confidence. What your confidence is in should dictate how much confidence you have. Notice Goliath was confident in himself. And we're going to see the difference when we get to it. Whose confidence, David's confidence, comes from. And it says, where was I? Okay. And it says, when Saul and all Israel heard the words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. So the Israelite people are afraid at this time. And it says, now David was the son of Ephraim of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, next to him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And when the Philistine drew near morning and evening, and presented himself 40 days. So 40 days he popping it, feeling like the man, talking crazy, all this, and nobody's stopping him. And I think it's so important that God often used 40 days as a symbolic thing. Notice when Moses went to fast and get the commandments from the Lord, I'm pretty sure it was 40 days and 40 nights he was up there with God. When Jesus fasted, it was 40 days and 40 nights. When the Israelite people were in the wilderness, I believe their original time they should have been in the wilderness was 40 days and 40 nights. But they made that extend to 40 years because of their disobedience. So what I realized is God likes using 40 a lot. And I'm going to be honest, I wish I would know what this 40 number was significant for. But I just realized that's something I've noticed. It's time to get 40 as a time period. So I don't really know the significance of that, but I just wanted to note that. But let's say 40 years, right? It's a significant amount of time. So for 40 days, they were letting him talk crazy. And it doesn't say that they prayed, they went to God, nothing. They were just fearful. And this is something I think is important, that we should not let our fear dwell within us. We have to bring it to God. I realize in my life I have feared so many things, so many worse outcomes, and there is so much that you can't control in life. But I realize prayer changes everything. And that's something that has been my default now, is running to God. When I feel nervous, when I feel anxious, running to God. God, I need you. Help me with my unbelief. Help me with my lack of faith. Because, Lord, I'm scared, I'm worried, and I need you to fill me more. And the more I've been doing that is the more I've been seeing the Lord actively show up for me daily. and meet me in my struggles, meet me in my worries and my fears, and comfort me with a peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm not saying this because it's like I want you to think that God, like, I'm not saying this for views, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying this because God truly has brought me peace that surpasses understanding. When I tell you, there's been many times I've been worried and stressed, and I couldn't even function because of the amount of stress and worry I had. But I realized ultimately God's will is going to be done, so I just gotta have faith. And sometimes God will have you go through the most worriness and the most fear, so you can truly rest in Him and learn to run to Him and to pray to Him and turn away from things that don't benefit you. Because sometimes we won't really see how the negative consequences of our actions until God shows us the negative consequence that could have happened. And I think when you see that, it becomes real. I feel like a lot of things aren't real to us until we experience it or get close to experiencing it. And that's the lesson I feel like God's been teaching me, is just that we should trust Him and we should run to Him with our doubts, run to Him with our fears, run to Him with everything, because our Heavenly Father wants to hear from us and loves us deeply. And it says, and Jesse said unto David his son, take now for thy brother an ephah of this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to the brethren. What up, bro? How you doing, Zen Trade? One. I hope you're doing good, bro. And it says, and carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how their brethren fare, and take their pledge. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. And David rose up early in the morning, and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went. As Jesse had commanded him, he came to the trench as the host was going forth to fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. So realize, I ain't gonna lie, David was already different. Like, you should notice something different about David. Instead of running away from battles, he's running to it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy to see him. Bro, he sees the battle going on. He was like, bro, I'm over there. Like, and it's like, yeah, he had to deliver food for his brothers, but he could have easily just placed the food down the left. But we see David has a heart to want to be on the battlefield and around it. And I feel like that already showed that he was like, it parallels to when the man said that he seen that David was a mighty man of valor. It's like David probably didn't always see himself as a mighty man of valor, but now we're seeing him to start to move on that. As far as he's stepping out of faith. Okay, his dad told him to go to this battlefield. He's not fearing it. He's not asking if he's qualified enough. He's not consulting and being like, God, I'm afraid of this. He's walking out. And I realize like that's something a lot of us need to break out of, is just fear. Realize fear holds you back from your potential, bro. I've been fearful of so many things in my life, and I realize like fear changes nothing, but your prayer changes everything. I feel like sometimes God allows us to, He doesn't give us the spirit of fear, but allows Satan to put fear in our hearts to see if we really want it. Like, bro, I've been so afraid to trade for like years, bro. Like, as far as, it's like I heard about it, but I was like, I ain't never really gonna do that, you know. Like, especially with like investing, all this stuff. I heard about it, but it was like, I can't really see myself doing it. Now I did it. I got funded. I passed the challenge, became profitable, and then it's like I blew the challenge. It's like I done learned so many lessons that people take years to learn, and I realized like, bro, when you start taking L's, bro, as far as take these lessons, sometimes it's hard to keep going, but you're like, dang, bro, that was a big lesson. But you gotta realize you need big lessons to truly grow so you can receive the blessings, bro. And I realized for me, something that God instilled is when I lost that last funded, bro, it made me realize like, bro, it wasn't because I took a bad trade. It was a good trade. I was up 300. I didn't take profit and it shot the other way. So it lets me know just taking profit is important, not being greedy, not letting profit go red. Like, bro, if you're already in profit, why not take that profit? And then if it does the liquidity sweep, wait for the liquidity sweep to stop and then jump back in. But I realize a lot of people have the mindset that if they don't hold this trade forever, like, it's good to hold trades if you're swing trading. Like, on prop firms, you probably aren't holding trades the whole day. And that's something I had to like realize, is like, bro, prop firms is different, bro. The risk management is different. You lose 2 bands, you lose your account. So it's like your risk management gotta be different. The trade goes 200, get out. Like, that's my rule. If the trade goes 200 in the red, I'm out. And it's like, it could be a liquidity sweep, but it also could take my account. And it's like, it's not worth risking it. And I realize, like, a lot of people don't think of that. They're like, oh no, I gotta let my trades play out. I gotta, or then they put their stop loss at 500. My stop loss would be a lot higher. You know what I'm saying? I'll be putting my stop loss. It could be at like 2,000-3,000. But am I gonna actually let it hit 2,000-3,000? No. If I go down 200, I'm getting out the trade. And that's something God had to convict me of. So I realized, like, the amount of lessons you can learn are dependent on how you view your life. If you choose to view every L you take as a lesson and learn from it, you will learn a lot quicker than someone that just views every L as a loss and be like, oh, well, I did this, or tries to blame something. I realized to truly grow, especially in trading, you have to take accountability, and God has revealed that to me so many times, because I realized it wasn't that God just allowed me to take a bad trade and I lost. I had to come to terms with the fact that I was prideful. I was greedy. Every trade I lost wasn't because the market faked me out. It was because either one, my market analysis wasn't good. Two, I didn't take profits. My biggest thing is really not taking profits. I feel like any trade I get in on, it hits. Like, because I don't just trade. Like, this whole area, I'm not trading because it's a no trade zone. I don't know what it's doing in here. But when it breaks out to here, I'm looking to take sells. When it breaks above here, I'm looking to take buys. It's that simple. But a lot of people overcomplicate trading because they don't have discipline. They want to force trades and then they wonder why they aren't profitable. They want to do ABC and not listen to their strat. Like, come up with all these rules and break it. Like, for me, I have a whole trading journal. And I have a whole trading trading plan. If I don't respect this, I can't be mad when the outcome of this isn't good because I didn't respect my rules. What was the point of coming up with all these rules if you weren't going to follow them? And I realized, like, a lot of people say all this stuff like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, but then they don't actually take this time to do it. So like me, I'm going to even just set up my, what's it called? Boom. Just in case it breaks. But yeah, like, I think a lot of people get so caught up in the numbers that they lose sight of the process. Like, bro, your goal should not to be necessarily to make $100,000 from trading when you first start trading. It's okay. I'm gonna stack green days. I know that $100,000, $150,000 like year or couple months. You know what I'm saying? Is going to stack from the result of me sticking to my plans, me being consistent and showing up, bro. And I realized, like, the hardest part of showing up is not easy to wake up at 5, 6, 4 in the morning every day, bro. It's not. As someone that's been doing it, bro, it's not easy. Some days I be tired. Some days I don't feel like streaming. Some days I don't feel like getting up. But I realize, like, bro, every day you open your eyes, God had a plan for you. So are you going to walk in the plan or are you going to be ungrateful? And I realize, like, when you start having an attitude of gratitude for everything you have, bro, it changes your perspective on life, bro. I started realizing how blessed I was. Once I stopped comparing myself to others, it's like, bro, I'm thankful I don't do the things I used to do. I'm thankful that God has changed my heart. So when certain things happen, instead of viewing it as a loss, I view it as a lesson. I learned the lesson from it so I don't repeat the same things. I realize that God will teach you so many lessons when you're ready to listen, that he does, because he wants to teach you the lesson so you can steward the blessings. But a lot of people want to move like this. Well, God, I want it to be like this, so if it's not this way, I'm not going to do it. Oh, God, I want it to be easy. I prayed for you to make me a millionaire, but while you're going through the struggles with trading that can change your life, you want to, like, run away? I realized, bro, that's not how it works, bro. Like, even paper trading. Right now, I'm paper trading. Bro, when I tell you paper trading is so laggy, like, bro, I be entering trades, it won't even show me I'm in the trade. But I realized, why is that laggy? It's laggy because they want people to actually get accounts. It's laggy because ultimately they want you to actually have an account. But I realized this is preparing me for when I have the account, because I'm not viewing it as paper trading. I'm viewing it as trading with real money, because if you view it as trading with real money, you never have to shift. A lot of people trade like this, and I'm going to tell you, it's like a psychic game that you got to break out of. A lot of people trade like this. Oh, well, it's a prop firm. It's not my money. So I'm going to just take trades. Oh, it's paper trading. It's not my money. So I'm going to just put 10 contracts in and try to make these crazy plays. But I realize that's not realistic. And when you start separating the two, right? You start separating paper trading from real trading. You start separating your money from the market. When you get like funded and you realize it's your money, you're gonna put so much more stress on yourself to that you gotta do something different, rather than having the same process you emulate and do every single time. And that's something God has revealed to me, is that, Reg, if you master the process, if your process never changes, you're going to be profitable when it's the challenge. You're going to be profitable when it's funded. You're going to be profitable when it's a live account, because I always treat it as my money. Like when I take a loss, bro, I be feeling that. And it's not just like to shake it off. And it's like I want to put myself in that mindset, because I realize, bro, if you have that mindset, it's not going to be more pressure when you get funded. Versus a lot of people feel like this. Oh, it's not my money when the challenge. Oh, snap, it's my money now. Like I'm actually funded. Well, I don't want to lose this. Like, so now you're hesitating to take trades. And sometimes you're not even taking trades now. I'm telling you this because I've been there. I've experienced it. I know what that fear feels like. And that fear is scary, bro. Hold on. We might have to sell. Might be a good sell opportunity popping up soon. But the only thing too is I don't really like trading when that first, like, you know what I'm saying? Because what you gotta realize is it broke my level though. Early on in the candle, it's scary to take it, because if it's pulling down here with 30 minutes left, you gotta realize it's probably gonna reverse like something crazy. Like ah. Hmm. Like, notice how the candle's touching it. It's touch and go. That's where it's like a little scarier to take the trade. So me, I like watching it. And notice, look, this candle breaks under, we in there. See, I'm in the trade, but you can't see it. Can't even see it. But y'all see me hit sell, right? Like, and that's why I be saying, like, it's just laggy. Like, what happened? It didn't put me in. I don't even know what happened. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, paper trading sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Like, people that be like, oh, I'm a paper trade to get better. This shit's horrible. Like, I hate paper trading. What up? And now it just put me in. That's crazy. That's crazy. It just put me in now. I jumped in that trade so early and it just put me in. How it's moving though. When it's bouncing, like it goes negative and then it bounces back. I'm just trying to get some profit, get out. I don't like this entry. Ooh, ooh. Hold on. Hold on. I like the entry now. I like the entry now. I like the entry now. Yeah, we're pushing. We're pushing. We're in it. We're in it. Hold. This is not a drill. We're up 700. This is not a drill. This is not a drill, folks. And my stop loss is actively not pushing out. No, I want my stop loss at this. We're pushing. We're pushing. 940. Yo, if my stop loss is not like, no, bro, it should be literally at like 7 something. Bro, I don't even know if I'm in the trade. Bro, you see what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's cooked. I know I smacked something crazy, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I just smacked for like a band. Yeah, so we're already up. Hold on. What was I at? I think I was at, because I ain't gonna lie, my paper trading account was down because I definitely took a bad trade. Like, and it did this laggy. This is before I knew how laggy it was. And I ain't gonna lie, the trade lost. Like, it lost. So I just smacked for 830. Um, but look, we ain't gonna try and jump in this again because look, it's pushing down on the 4 hour and the 15. But look, we're looking for this entry since we already scalped it, some of it. The next level we're looking to get into is when it breaks out to this because this is a level where we have it marked. So that's kind of the level we were looking at. Put my stop loss all the way up here just because that's where it's broke. So I'm looking to get like 600 more and just be done for the day. But notice, I'm playing my levels. So now I'm playing it for it to break. Bro, it's gonna pull back in there. Shoot. It's laggy, bro. Like I'm literally hitting it, and I want y'all to realize, like when I hit jump in, it's literally up here. But because it's paper trading and it's so laggy, I'm not getting in when I'm supposed to be getting in. So now I don't even think I'm in the trade. Yeah, I'm not in the trade. Like, bro, this junk is so trash, bro. Like, bro, what is happening? Like, it literally just missed me out on my perfect entry. But notice where I wanted to get in is here because I would have already been up profit. I bet. I swear if the Shaniachi. Okay, it didn't put me in. Okay, good. Okay. But yeah, notice how my entry point that I'm trying to get in at is literally here. I'm keeping my stop loss up here just because I know it can play there. But what I want you to see is where I'm trying to jump in it at is at my limit. Because at this level, I know from here, bro, I'm going to just keep it there. Because what it's doing right now is pulling back and then pushes. So it pulls and then it'll push. Ooh. If we, yeah. Okay, we're still good. We're still good. And when I say I get out at 200, I mean if my price is floating at 200 and it's not ever going back positive, I'm immediately getting out. That's one thing a lot of people don't do, bro. They do not, they let it go red. Once you see that it's not respecting your price, I mean, once you see it sitting at that 200, that's like your sign where it's like, I should probably get out. And once you start feeling like you should probably get out, you need to get out. Like heavy on, you need to get out. Okay, this is bouncing. We're gonna put it at this level. Okay, it lets me confirm. Nice.
I'm paper trader. I ain't trader.
I ain't gonna lie, this is a good time to be trading. I ain't gonna lie, it's moving
For
nice.
what? To enter?
I mean, yeah,
I'm
for
not
the
gonna lie,
levels I have
bro.
'em.
I'm just I'm just looking at my EMAs and
Which
my
I just
VWAP
smacked.
on my two things. I don't have nothing marked right now, but
Oh yeah,
I'm up
nah.
I'm
If
up three
that's
bands.
if that's what you have marked, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
three
trade either.
bands
Yeah.
on the paper trader. Yeah.
Hold on, bro. This junk
Um,
is
yeah,
lagging
but
me,
I
bro.
just was looking at it because I was just fucking around with it. I didn't know what it was between the first. I wanted to see why like we can't trade in the first 15 minutes, but
I would trade. Well, I don't trade the first 15 minutes, but I know the market moves crazy. Like when it breaks out, me, I don't be hesitating to take trades. Like once it breaks out, like it's under my levels, bro, I be quick to take trades.
yeah. So it was kind of like
Bro, damn, I'm missing it. But this is why I don't be hesitating to take trades here,
uh
is because, bro, once you have your once you did the chart work, bro, it's literally just trusting
yeah.
your analysis. Like once if it's still under my level, like it's respecting it. So
Yeah,
like
you can
that's
lose
how I
your
be
money
thinking.
both ways, bro. It's gonna be pulling 200
Yeah,
or
like, and that's
giving
how I
pull
think
200
about it.
that
It's
way
like,
and be
bro,
down for
once you understand like
yeah. I'm
why
just
you get in
doing
and like, you
volume
feel me?
spikes or buy and sell off.
Yeah, it's not even like a game of, bro,
Yeah,
dang, I missed my entry. Hold on. Here, let me put it like here because it'll bounce back there. Come on, bounce back. No, no. Sometimes it will not bounce back, chat. Here,
yeah.
let me do. Is it really not gonna bounce back to my level? I was gonna say I'm actually surprised if it doesn't. Okay, take profit. We're gonna. I know it's about to shoot. Come on. Yep. So we're gonna take profit at 80, and then we're gonna trail. Yep. Now it's shooting. It's like I'm not gonna lie, like chat. This junk is okay, bro. This laggy, bro. I hate paper trading. Like I hate it, bro. And I feel like God's teaching me patience with paper trading, y'all. Because it's like, bro, this
Yeah.
junk is so laggy. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I should just smack for another like 300. But I can't take my entry where I want to because it's lagging this bad. Like, bro, that should not be that like how it moves.
No, I'm not sure. Right now, I'm gonna actually doing that.
Like, bro, if you watch my stream, it's bad. Like you can see like the literal delay of me jumping in and then it not putting me in a trade until like 5 minutes later. It's horrible. But what you gotta realize now is it just indicated all the way here. I'm not jumping back in. You know why I'm not jumping back in? Because when it does that, bro, that's when it normally pushes the opposite way. And that's something like you gotta know is just noticing. Notice how this is making a doji. Yeah, now it's green.
Early manipulation.
Like when it and that was literally just the indication where it builds off it. But I realized I could scalp that pretty easy, so that's what I did. So I just made a band just scalping the candle that I knew was happening once it broke my level. And what did it do? It made the wick all the way down here, but now it's all the way back up here. So this is why it's important to time your entries and exits. Like I already went up a band. I'm cool off trading now. Like I ain't gonna lie. It's like I done made my money for today. I made 800 yesterday. I made a band today. It's like, bro, that's already 1,800 out of the 3,000 if I was doing the challenge right now. But it's like you gotta get in that psychology where it's like I'm cool with taking that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if the market shows you it's moving one way, cool. But don't chase the money as far as don't feel like you need to, oh, I gotta take this. I gotta take that, bro. Because that's where you're cooked, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's where they cook everyone. That chasing that money, bro, it will cook you bad. But what I like doing is once we see the breakout, I like looking at the 15 because the 15 is gonna show you where the market's actively going. So we see it just corrected. Okay, if it breaks under this again on the 15, I'm gonna jump in and make this last 300 because now since I can get my original remember the market does indication, correction, and then continuation. So right now we see this is the breakout, right? And it came all the way down here, and we got in and sniped this, right? Made a band off this. But what you got to realize is when it's pulling up now, it's correcting the price. Like it's like, oh, notice all these wicks. Like if you just look at past, when it made a big push, it made also a big wick to the other side. So what I realized is it's 4 minutes into this. So on the 15 builds on the 1 hour. So it takes four 15-minute candles to build the 1 hour. So you got to realize is the 1 hour still showing you bearish, the 4 hours still showing you bearish. It's probably still bearish. Here, let me take off these green because we're not seeing any signs that is going green anytime soon yet. You know what I'm saying? And it's like important to mark levels too. For me, I see okay. If it's breaking and switching the trend, this is the line. It needs to break this higher high, this higher, not this higher, this lower high or higher high. We don't know which one it is yet. If it builds off, it's the lower high, but it could also be
Hey, Porcelain,
the highest point it gets.
Danny outside.
But notice, I already made my money, so am I tripping? Like, this is heavy on this, bro. Once you make profit, or even if you don't make profit, you don't need to chase after the money. I made a band just trusting my analysis. Like, a band. Quick. In like 5 minutes, I made a band. And it was live. Y'all seen it live. And it's like, even lagging, I could have made more. Like, that last trade should have smacked for 300. Because when it went to 300, I went to trail my stop loss. It lagged so much that it went back to, I think it went back to like dang near break even close. Because it didn't close. But I realized, like, on a live account, I'm being able to time that smack. So it's like, stuff like that is just things to note. But now I'm just kind of seeing where the market's playing. We're not trying to force any trades. It tested all the way down here. Now it's building up green. So,
Yeah, that's my girlfriend.
I ain't gonna lie. This is a lot of volume, though. This is 47K. So what you got to realize is this could really push and change the whole pattern of it. As far as you could be like, oh, dang, now it might be on the uptrend just looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of expecting that. letting the market show you. But yeah, we already went up a band today. Not forcing no other trades. If it shows us trades, we'll take them.
Huh?
But yeah,
Nah, she coming.
I want to get in the habit of taking max 1,500. So the max I can make now is 500 more dollars because I already went up a band today.
Carmen, how you doing?
So then, reading the word, it goes back and it says in verse
Yeah.
23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion,
I
the Philistine
cleaned
of
up my
Gath,
whole back
Goliath by
also.
name, out of the armies
Threw
of the
all that stuff
Philistines, and
away.
spake according to the same words. And David heard them. And all the men of Israel,
I'm
when they
tired.
saw the man, fled
Ooh,
from him,
wee.
and were
And
sore
I ain't even
afraid.
get a
And the
chance to
men
stop
of
going
Israel
from
said,
today.
Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up.
Oh,
It shall
okay.
be that the man who
I be
killeth
feeling
him,
bad
the
because
king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and
that's
make
why I
his
don't be liking
father's
to tell
house
everybody
free
not to
in
come out
Israel.
here because I be
And
having so much to
David
do.
spake
But
to the men that
my mama
stood
tell
by
people
him,
I'm out here, then
saying,
I be having
What
to
shall
talk
be
about
done to
shit.
the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach of Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? And the manner of people answered him after this manner, saying,
Oh, we
So shall
you
it be
take your
done to
portion
the
up for
man that
recording this?
killeth him. So
Oh,
realize, David has no
today,
fear of Goliath at
today
all.
Tuesday.
Realize we
Well, I
don't
was gonna
see
see you before I left because
any instance of fear
I
from him.
don't think
But what we do see is that he doesn't lack faith. Like, he is not scared of Goliath because he has faith in God. A lot of the people at this time, what we can see is that they knew of God, they believed in God, but they lacked true faith that he could deliver them out of anyone's hand. Because it says, all it keeps talking about is that people were greatly afraid. But notice, they're afraid, but they're holding on to their fear. They don't bring it to God. And that's something like I want us to realize is that God does not want you to hold on to your fears and your doubts. He wants you to bring them to him. Because when you bring it to God, God can turn that fear into peace. He can turn that fear into a lesson. Because sometimes fear is good. Sometimes fear teaches us much needed lessons. Because if you didn't have that fear, you might not act the way you act, you know? And I realize God has definitely taught me a lot with my fear, my fear of just things not working out. And he shows me that fear is having faith that the worst outcome will come to fruition. Faith is believing in the best outcome that you prayed for coming to fruition because you trust that God can do all things. You see how the two different, but it's a big difference because what are you putting your faith in? Are you putting your faith in your doubts and your worries, or are you putting your faith in God? And I realize we should all be putting our faith in God. But a lot of people put their faith in God. But when their doubts and their worries hit, what do? They don't go to God. They stay in their head, bro. And when you stay in your head, bro, it's going to keep tormenting you. And I ain't gonna lie, fear is a hell of a thing. Like, bro, it sucks. Like, when you're afraid and you can't change anything about that fear, in that moment, it sucks, bro. And I'm not gonna act like it doesn't suck, bro. It does. But what you gotta realize that God did not give you that spirit of fear. It says in 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power and love and a sound mind. That shows me that I can conquer any fear I have, any doubt I have, any worry I have, because God did not give it to me. So who is giving it to you? Satan, bro. Because Satan is a real enemy that people don't want to acknowledge. But when you acknowledge and know Satan works and how he works, you don't fall to his lies. You don't fall to his fears. Satan tried to make me quit trading. And already the last 2 days since I've got back into it, I'm up profit. And I'm like, bro, and I realized like God has brought me so much peace on it, just making me realize like I am a good trader. I am profitable. I do know what I'm doing. I know how to read the charts. And this is more evidence. Today I just smacked for a band in 5 minutes. Bro, that's a check. That's rent. Like, come to terms and start having a positive association with money. As far as not only believing like every time I trade is my money, like come get yourself in that headspace. Yes, it's paper trading, but I'm viewing it as my money. That's why when it lags, I'm annoyed because I realize I could have made more money if it didn't lag. But it's getting in the habit of keeping those principles. You know where paper trading is wasted is when you're doing stuff you would never do in a real market. If you're loading up 10, 15 contracts or maybe even 6. Like for me, I don't even trade 3 contracts. So my paper trading is negative because I took 3 contracts. I didn't know it lagged like this, right? The play went good. I tried to trail my stop loss, but one is paper trading and it's laggy, and it shot the opposite way, and I went down 9 bands in one trade because I loaded up a contract that I would never do. In a real trade, I'm never taking 3 contracts. Even if I think it's an A plus setup, because I know that if worst case scenario happens and it reverses in a span of a minute, I could lose everything I done built. Everything. I mean, your account can be gone. Your profits could be like, you could be up 5 bands, but you lose 2, you still lost your account because you're trading on a prop firm. So what I realized is like, bro, you got to build the habits that you're going to keep when you grow. Like, if I know I'm never going to do more than 1 contract, why am I paper trading using multiple contracts? And I realized, like, and I was talking about it earlier, but it didn't have this many, like, people in the stream. Since y'all 3 are in the stream, I want to, like, say it one more time because I feel like it goes over a lot of people's head. Every time you trade, you should trade like you're trading with your money. Because if you get in the habit of being disciplined with your money, you're going to trade consistently the same way every single time. You're going to mark up your charts. When your alerts get broke, you're going to take the trades. You're not going to force dumb trades. You're going to be patient. You're going to trust and take profit when profit is shown to you. And then you're going to build good habits. But a lot of people trade like this. Oh, it's a prop firm. It's not my money, so I'm going to over leverage. I'm going to over risk. I'm going to over do these things that don't lead to you being profitable. Stop listening to just everyone on social media that says they're profitable. Because a lot of people that be trading all these different accounts, they be lying to you, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest, the trade, like, actually researching the prop firms, the max they pay out is 150,000. For most brokers, it's like 100,000, 150,000. So these people that say they're making 50 grand plus, they're making 50 grand plus off you. Off the person that doesn't know what they're reading. Because if they just said they're only paying 150,000 through all your accounts, it doesn't matter if you have 10 or 15 accounts. The max you're going to see them be able to pull out is up to 150,000. So people that are saying they're making millions of dollars, oh, I'm making 50,000 a month. How? And I ain't gonna lie, like, I really want y'all to, like, come to terms with this, bro. But this is why, like, I want to be transparent. I want to show you the truth, bro. Okay, 150,000, right? Let's say they have $50,000 months. They got 3 months. 3 months that they can trade before they gotta switch to something else. Because they're making 50,000 a month, right? They done maxed it out. And this is where I want, like, I kid you not, bro. Let's look at my funded futures because like I said, I don't just say stuff for nothing, bro. I be so dead serious, like. My funded future max payout. Maximum caps 100,000 per user. 100,000 per user. Let's see what's another one. I think Alpha Futures is a popular one. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of people lying, bro. 3,000 for 100K. 1.5 for 50,000K, right? Maximum withdrawal 50,000. But let's see, what is the ultimate limit? Ultimate limit of paying out. Because I ain't gonna lie, Alpha Futures is being around the bush. Okay, let's see. Wow, 100K. 100K. Right? So, excuse me. Now we see 2 accounts already. Let's get another one. Let's do Lucid. Let's see how much their ultimate payout is. Let's see. 150,000. Mind you, what do these people tell you? Oh, I make $50,000 off trading a month. How? Off trading prop firm. Because notice a lot of these people that say they are profitable, that say they're making all this money, that drive the supercars, all this stuff, like I'm not trying to get angry, but like it generally pisses me off that I see so many people lying about their journey, bro. Lying about how much they make off trading because it puts this sense of people like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do the same thing, bro. No, bro. It's not real. It's not. But this is where I want to give you hope, bro. Is that, bro, a lot of people do not think it matters. This is why I be saying taking your profit so easy, right? 100. Because once you get profitable, a lot of these prop firms either make you have 5 days of 100 or 5 days of 150. Because I've been funded, so I see how it works. So, right. So 5 days, right? That's 500 if you do 5 days, right? That's Monday through Friday. Let's say you make 100 a day. Times 4. 2 racks. Now you made 2 bands in a month, right? let's say trading is not your, because I know for me, trading isn't my only source of income. I work, But now you made 24,000 just by making $100 a day, 5 days a week. Realize now you can really get the crazy scaling. Let's say you make 150 and you make that 5 days a week. Boom. 750, right? And now you scale that to, okay, how many in a week? There's 4 weeks in a month. Now you're making 3,000. Now you're making 36K. Now you start really getting, but let's say like I'm doing today. Yesterday I made 800, today I'm already up 1,000, right? Now really get to that. Let's just do 800. Let's say you make that 5 days, right? Boom. 4 bands. Now that's when we start hitting crazy numbers. Boom. Now you already maxed out the max you can get the payout. Now you done made the 150. Now you made 100, almost 200K from just making 800. So that's what I'm saying. It's so important to take your profits, because when you start taking profits, you realize, like, I just got to stack green days. That's why I don't tell myself I need to make a certain amount. I know the max I should be making to get in the habit of getting used to trading like prop firm, because when I make my account for this prop firm, I'm trying to finish the challenge quick, but I'm not trying to rush to do it. I realize, okay, I make 800, I make 500. Even if it takes, boom, 800 times 5. I done made 4,000. The challenge done in 5 days. But I realized a lot of us put the expectation, I got to make 15. I got to make this. Stop putting that on yourself. Because a lot of people don't realize like how easy it is to truly change your life with trading. Just having 5 days of green days of even $100 in profit can change your life. Realize that. So when you start having 800 days, be grateful, bro. And I realized God showed me I wasn't grateful, bro. I was making 800, 900, 1,000 a trade. And I was so prideful and so puffed up that I was like, oh, I went out 300, 300 not enough, bro. Now I'm taking 300. I don't care if oh, dang, it could have kept going. Cool, I made 300, bro. I'm thankful. Bro, that's my heart now, because God showed me, bro. Just like how He allowed me to make, like, my first, like, when I made this funded in February, I got funded. I made, like, over 7,000. Boom. And then I got funded. Now I make 2,000 on that. My money. Not the market's money. My personal money, 2,000. And I lost it because of greed and pride. I had a winning trade. I was up 240, I believe it was. It was at 300, didn't take that. Then went to 240, didn't take that. Now I reversed it. Now I'm negative. Instead of getting out at 200, I let it go all the way to 2,000. Lost my account. That was the Lord teaching me an important lesson about greed, bro. Do not let your pride be bigger than your faith, bro. Your faith is meaning like, okay, if I just take my profit, if I'm just consistent with not being greedy, I know it's going to stack up. That's how your mindset got to be, bro. And I realized, like, bro, that's how simple it is. And I think a lot of people think of it like this, like with profit firm. Well, I got to make the 3,000 in 2 days. Realize you break that down. Let's say you make 500. 6 days, the challenge is complete. Let's break it down even farther. You get a month before they charge you again. Divide that by the 30, right? Because there's normally 30 days in a month. That means if you make $100 a day, you'll finish the challenge. But I realize a lot of people don't think about it that way, because what do? They only want to hear when it's good. They only want to trade when it makes sense, bro. They only want to take what's easy. Bro, it's not easy when you take a loss to keep trading and not change your rules, not change everything you did, because you're like fearful. But you got to realize, like, bro, God did not give us the spirit of fear. And it's important to realize that, because every time you feel fear about something, especially if you know it's something stepping out of your comfort zone, it's probably something that Satan doesn't want you to do, because he knows if you do it, it can change your life. And I realize, like, that's what we got to realize, is there's a real enemy. There's a real enemy that does not want to see you win, that does not want to see you walk in the calling God has for you. But you got to step in it with full faith, knowing if God put it on my heart, that God could bring it to fruition. That God didn't give me this vision not to help me bring it to fruition. And that's something I remind myself of daily. This platform should show you that, bro. When I first started making videos, it was just me, myself, talking to the camera. It wasn't nobody else watching. It was just me and God. But I realized that the Lord started speaking to me through those videos. And then I started watching the videos because I wanted to hear from the Lord. I realized that became an intimate part where I was talking to God and God's responding back to me. And we're talking back and forth, and I'm growing in my faith. So I started cherishing that. I started rejoicing in that. And I was like, God, I'm going to show up every day. I stopped caring about who else was watching. I stopped caring about what Satan told me if it was a perfect video. I was just like, God, I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna be consistent. I don't care if I stutter. I don't care if I expose myself. A lot of my videos expose myself. I ain't gonna lie, they expose my flaws. Dang, I'm struggling with this, but I'd rather be vulnerable with it and help someone than try to act like I'm not going through it, bro. Realize you can't have a testimony without a test, bro. And I realized a lot of times in my life, I've seen God reveal so many things to me when I was open with Him. And I realized like that vulnerability comes from having a relationship with God where I don't care what people think, bro. Especially when I first started trading stream. Now I feel like it's a lot more support because people don't see me really smack like crazy amounts of money. I feel like now that's where the support it comes from, but also it's like genuine people, you know. But there's a lot of haters, like especially in this trading world. Like I realize like a lot of people don't really, since they never experienced success with trading, they don't know what to base it off. And a lot of people are like, oh, I need to do ABC because I seen ABC get done. Realize that a lot of these people that post this cars, that post this, that they don't really have it, bro. Because we just did a whole research where it says the max payout these prop firms are paying you is 150,000. But notice what's the common trend between a lot of these profitable traders that we see on like TikTok or YouTube and things? A lot of them have, or they're affiliated with them. They have like the promo codes, so they're affiliated with them. So now, and also notice when you see them get payouts, how much is the payout normally? You might see 150,000 payout, but you don't see them consistently pulling out 50,000. You'll see them maybe do a big $50,000 payout, but the rest be like three bands. Or even if it's through 3 accounts, that's still 15. But once you hit that 100,000, you can't keep trading the same brokerage. And that's why I realized like a lot of these people be lying. And especially, and it opened my eyes to that. Once I actually got funded because I see, well, dang, after like even after you get some consistent payouts, after you get 5 consistent payouts, they make you have a live account, bro. So that's where you gotta realize like a lot of these people don't be telling the truth, bro. And it's like I rather rip the band-aid off and let people know like a lot of people in this trading space are scammers and people that truly don't believe what they preach. That's why I watch the people that show the proof. Who I watch what trades with side, and he doesn't trade off prop firms. He trades off brokerages that can really pay out these millions of dollars. And he's showing you he has $1 million wins, but he has $1 million losses too. But he shows it all, and that's what I realized. Like that's transparency. And I realized the same way I'm marking the charts and waiting for the big breakout, he does that. And that's why for me, it's like my goal is I'm gonna make the max off these prop firms. I'm gonna get the capital from the prop firms, but then I'm going to live and I'm never turning back. I'm gonna be honest, y'all probably will not see me stream on when I get my real live account because I realize like, bro, me, I'm not. Your trade?
On paper trading, I'm running this shit up.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, brother.
On paper trading. On paper trading. It's not really a trade though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I was kind of talking about chat.
I just hopped in off that doji. I'm on the Hikanashi setup.
Yeah, it's pushing down
So
right now.
it
It's starting to
works
wick.
right now.
As I say, it's starting to
Boy,
wick. So,
I mean, yeah, get me out, bitch.
ooh. But what I was telling my chat is like, bro, when you paper trading, when you trading anything, bro, start thinking of it like your money. So when you get the challenge or when you're doing the actual like
That's what
funded,
yeah, it is like my money, but honestly, it's way stress free. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like it gets you in the
it's
right
really
headspace.
I mean, I think it's going back down, bro.
Well, I'm not. It's not breaking my level. So like for me, I only trade between my levels. So it's in a no trade zone for me right now. But you know, if you see it, hey, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what everything you're seeing on yours, but for me right now, I see it like consolidating. It's not really making higher lows or higher highs. It's just
No,
kind of.
no, responded to it.
But yeah, like what I will say is like for me, I feel like just always having the same mindset, like these habits and building that. I feel like that leads to you being never having to switch because I feel like a
Yeah,
lot of
honestly,
people
all I need to
waver.
do is make 580 or 570 for the next few days. That's how I pass it. I already set up my budget plan because I ain't trying to overdo shit.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
I'll be alright.
Yes, sir. Really just see profits, take profits. When you have a A plus setup, take profits. Do not trade liquidity. That's why I always have like a zone I don't trade because I realize, bro, the liquidity sweeps is what takes accounts, bro. It's not just like A plus setup. Because like today, the last 2 days, I've taken like probably like 3 trades each day, but it's been the same trade setup, just scalping it, like taking the profits where I get there, and then if it's still going down, jumping back in. But I realized I haven't went negative any at all. Like, and I realized if you really like just do good chart analysis, like this chart work, bro, it's just literally just jumping in when the alert goes off. Other than that, you just letting the
Paper
trade
trade.
ride. Yeah,
Uh,
because like when
okay.
I paper
I be
trade,
looking
I'm still
for
doing the same type of concepts. Like I mark my levels, I play it. Like me, I'm not ever trying to have a shift because I realized like I felt that when I actually got funded, I felt
I'm
that pressure hit
probably gonna
different.
hop in there.
Because it was like, dang, this is my money. Nah, bro,
Right.
can't even get in the habit of not thinking. Always think
So
it's your money because
give
then
me
you're
the
not going.
China,
It's gonna be real for you.
the kill zone, the EMA, and the VWAP.
So then we see David's like he's like, bro, y'all are afraid of this man. Like he basically calling them out like, why are y'all
Mm-hmm.
fearing this man? And I realized
It's
like
going back down.
sometimes we need to realize and call ourselves out on this. Like, why am I fearing something that God already created? Because I realize like nothing in the world comes from anything but God. Like, you know what I'm saying? All good things come from God. You know, there's evil in the world
Wait,
that
so
doesn't
if
come
I
from
was to
God.
make a higher trade than 725 today, it's not gonna be the end of the world, right?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Okay, I don't think you're talking to me.
730.
But yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, like for me, I'm really very content. Like just taking my profits. Like bro, I made a band today before in
Mm.
5 minutes. Like I traded this candle and I was in for I think a total of like 5 minutes and just kept smacking before 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Just kept smacking trades and I realized it's just by doing
Dang.
good chart work. And that's why I want to like tell the viewers like truly I want all y'all to realize like I'm not doing anything special. When I load into the market, I look at the 4 hour time frame and I'm about to tell you the whole strat. Like I'm not gatekeeping because bro, there's people out there that aren't gatekeeping. Side is not gatekeep. He gave this video out for free. It's like you might not understand it to the level I understand it because I obviously watch the videos. I take a lot of notes, like, and I honestly practice it too. But what I will say, so when I looked at this market this morning, I'm like, okay, boom, where am I seeing wicks? So I see there's a price change here and what's it called? That there was a high number of sellers here. Why I marked down here? I marked the level here, getting some of the body, and then I marked the top wick of this candle. Now I can see an indication that happened. I seen what's it called? That this was like the upside. So that was this box mark. So if it's going to the upside, it needs to break this high because this. You remember between these two zones, we don't trade. So I marked the top because I'm like, if it breaks above this, I want to take buys. Then no trade zone. You don't care about anything going on in here. You're just kind of marking and seeing if it's respecting structure. To continue on an uptrend, it has to hold above this. Notice how it's not holding above this. I'm like, we could have a bearish move still going on, you know? So that's something to note, like that I like noting. But then go back. Well, how did I mark the bottom candle? The box. You might be asking. I marked that because what I see, I seen there was a lot. I marked where the market was playing. It was playing between here and here. So I marked that, right? I marked the bottom wick. I marked the lowest candle where I had been like. So that's where I kind of got. I was including these wicks, right? And then the bottom, I marked where the lowest point had actually been. That was live market. I think it was like around here. So I marked like close to that, where it was wicking and where there was some of the body, right? Because I realized this was an indication breakout. So I still wanted to show that, okay? And then I marked the level because if it breaks under this level, what does that mean? It played all between here, right? And then it broke out. So anything above, under this, I know has been bullish. How did I know that? Because I went back in time. Every time it's been under here, where do we see it's been playing under here? So it's not like me guessing that it's going to be bearish. It's like it showed me it's bearish under this level. So that's what I marked. Above this level, what has it showed me? It showed me it's bullish. So that's just reading what the market shows. So now it's just up to me to wait for the market to show me that. Okay, why it's in this? I'm not taking Jones. When it breaks above here, I'm taking profit. I have different levels of take profit. I have different levels of take profit down here. Notice what I did. You remember, if you watch, I was initially in here,
Huh?
made six. I think I made like
Mm-mm.
8 off this first play right here that it shot because it shot from here, then it shot all the way I think here, and then it started pulling back. So I made like 8 there, right? Then I see, okay, it came back up here, but then I missed this entry. So now it's like pushing right here. So I'm like, dang, I can't get my initial entry. So I use this next TP line as an entry. So if it breaks above here, if it's consolidating here, that lets me know if it breaks out here, it's going to continue to here. So that's what I did. I took a buy here. I took a sell here and wrote it all the way down here. Boom. That was how I make my band. But notice it was all playing under this level. If it ever pulled back in here, I wasn't looking for sells anymore. But why it's under here, I'm looking for sells. So even if I get stop lossed out, if I see that it's still under my level, I'm looking, okay, where can I enter and still get profit? That's what my headspace was, you know? But now that's back in there, I'm not even looking for trades. Like I have my alerts, and notice I have my alerts set. Until it breaks those alerts, I'm not looking to take a trade again. So I already went up 1,000. If this was my funded account, I can only make 1,500 max a day. So I'm getting a headspace of, okay, if this is my funded account, how would I trade? If this is my money, how would I trade? I'm taking what the market gives me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you build psychology that lasts when you actually get funded and when you actually build. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to paper trade just crazy like you wouldn't in real market, because if you're trading different, if you have a shift, if you trade, oh, when I'm on a funded account or when I'm trading prop firm, I'm trading like this, but when I trade prop firm, paper trading, I'm just doing random stuff. That's building bad habits, because it's hard to, like, you could say in your mind like, oh, I'm gonna do this, but psychologically you're teaching your brain that it's okay to take bad setup, it's okay to chase the money, it's okay to do this when you do it. But then when you're going to try to switch your brain to be like, oh, I'm going to be disciplined to stick to this plan that I haven't stuck to when I was paper trading, I didn't stick to when I was doing this. You got it, bro. Realize a lot of the trading is psychological, and I realize if you don't teach your your psychology to respect these habits, it's
So
not.
it reverts back up.
So you gotta realize that, like, and that's something I want to teach people is like build that psychology now. So even if you're just paper trading right now, when you get on that live account, it's not, or that prop firm, you're not going to be worried about if I can do it. You're going to know you can do it because you did it time and time again. Reps, bro. Reps translate. Notice this, what I'm doing right now, paper trading is better than back testing. A lot of people go and they'll go and replay and they'll go back here. Oh, what move I would have got in here. But what you realize is live market, when you have to make a decision before you can see the candles, and there's no way you can see the candles until after it makes a move, that's where you truly build confidence in yourself. As far as I was confident to know, okay, I'm going to take profit. But notice if I held this trade and it went here, it would have reversed and I would have got stop lost out. Lost 2 bands. But instead, because I was smart and took profits, I went up a band. A lot of people be like, oh, it's not good to take yourself out or trail your stop loss because you might miss out on potential profits. Who cares if you miss out on potential profits when you're securing money that you didn't have before? Realize a lot of
I
people go
wouldn't
to,
hop in
like
there
for
though.
me,
Hop in on that next channel if I did though.
I get paid very well, but $50 is
Because
still multiple hours of pay. But I
I
realize
know
when you
you
start trading, what happens? $50 doesn't seem like much because you see how much more you can make. But you gotta stop
oh
letting that
yeah, six,
psychology
seven,
plague
in
you.
between there, anything
I'm
between
gonna
the
be
six,
patient.
six, six,
Okay,
seven,
when it
in between
when
there,
it
that six
hits
point right now, get
my
that.
money, like this target amount, I'm gonna be thankful. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna smack. Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep doing that because when you start stacking green days, when you start stacking good habits, it translates. That's why there's no doubt in my mind. Like I'm gonna be a millionaire off trading because
Mm-hmm.
I know what to look for, and I know that God is building my psychology up to be able to steward that, to be able to steward the money, to be able to be grateful where I can pour it out. Like I'm
Yeah,
streaming this
take
for a
it out.
reason, so I can pour into other people. I'm reading the word so you can get poured into. So I want you to like process that, bro.
I'm coming to click that X. It's more so, bro, is that
But
thing not gonna lag? It's gonna take
in
a
verse
minute.
28 it says, and Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why comest thou hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thy heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, what not have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. Realize, sometimes you have opposition on the path that God calls you to walk. It was no coincidence David ended up being in that battlefield when Goliath was talking that hot stuff, because David wasn't afraid of Goliath. Unlike the other Israelite people, he didn't fear Goliath. He feared God. So he knew, okay, I'm not going to fear you. His own brother, this is his older brother. He's telling him, why are you here? You just wanted to see the battle. Mind you, he's the same brother that's scared to fight Goliath. And that's not to like condemn his brother. It's just to show like they didn't have the same type of faith of David, bro. And I realized like David's faith should inspire you, bro. It should inspire you. And I just wanted to like finish 17 today. And it's like I'm not even trying to rush through it, so we can just try to get to it.
Be at the track end today. I got questions all day, bro.
I want to be patient. So let's really read it. It says, and when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him.
Yesterday, boy.
And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with the Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. So realize, now Saul is doubting him. So now we had his brother doubt him. Now we have Saul doubting him. So this lets me know when you're walking in the calling God has for you, you're going to have doubters. But that shouldn't make you scared to walk in that call. That should empower you to realize that, okay, there's opposition against me walking in there. But that should not make me fear. That should make me confident to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to move out in faith. And realize, every moment you have doubt, every time you have fear, every time you have worry, that's a moment you can give it to God and let him take it away.
Consolidating right now.
And then it says, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defiled the armies of the living God. David said, moreover, the Lord that had delivered me out of the paw of the bear, and out of the paw of the paw of the lion, and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head, and also he armored. Hold on. For my sake.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's too much noise in my ear. I can't focus on it. So, then it says, and David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off of him. So, I kind of skipped, but I wanted you to see that. He even tries to equip him. Sometimes people will try to give you wisdom and, like, pour into you, but if it's not of God, it's still just not the best to accept. And I know that's kind of hard to, like, wrap your head around, like, sometimes when people give you advice, it could come from a good place, but you shouldn't trust it. But it's like, bro, generally, if God is not your counsel, it's worldly counsel. And I think that we have shaped our mindset so much to believe that people always know the best for us and are always trying to, like, pour out that we just accept what people say as, like, fact. But the facts are in the Word of God. The fact is that David didn't fear Goliath because he knew God was on his side. And he knew the same God that was the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, could deliver him the same way he delivered the Israelite people from the captivity of the Egyptians. The same God that parted the Red Sea can deliver you from your problems. But I don't think we truly, like, comprehend and believe that with our whole heart. And it shows it because it bleeds into different aspects of our lives. Now, instead of trusting God with my finances, I say I trust God, but I stop sticking to the finance plan that God put on my heart. I say I trust God, but every time I feel worried, instead of running to God, I stay in my thoughts. I let the thoughts and the worries and the anxiety plague me. realize like we gotta break out of these curses, bro. Because I realize like fear is a curse that can bind you for years. People will be convicted to start a business and will never get started because they have fear of what if it doesn't work? What if it does? And I think that's not talked about enough. Like having the opposite, like we already know about the worst case scenario. I feel like everyone in the world tells you about the worst case scenario, bro. But no one tells you about what if it works. And that's one thing I will like. I'm so thankful to God for it surrounding me with brothers that believed in me. Like the people you hear in this chord, those are my brothers. Like I got them for life. When I tell you they done supported me through the ups and the downs. When I felt like, dang, bro, is YouTube ever gonna blow up? I felt like quitting. Like there was times I felt like quitting on the journey. There's times where I felt like giving up in basketball, bro. My bros and God kept me going because they were like, Reg, you got it. We believe in you. It's like even for track, bro, like my bros show me they believe in me. They the loudest. Like when I'm running, I hear them the loudest, bro. It's like that motivates me because I realize that God has blessed me with brothers that truly love and support me. Through the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, I know they are for me, bro. And I realize like you never forget your day ones, bro. And I realize day one isn't necessarily they were with you since you came out the womb. Day one is they roll with you through the ups and the downs, bro. And I realize like family does not make you blood, bro. True love makes you blood. Like family is who chooses to love you unconditionally, who chooses to meet you in your lowest and support you and keep supporting you, bro. And I realize like, bro, a lot of times we see a lot of fake love in the world, bro. A lot of fake love. And I ain't gonna lie, that's what I'm so thankful for is that God removed the fake love from me. I had people that said they cared about me, said they were, but as soon as I started really going through it, left me, bro. Left me out. But when I tell you the bros I got now, the people and the family I have now, bro, they stay with me through the ups and the downs, bro. Like when I tell you it's no limit to what you can do when you have the right support system around you. And I realize like even if you don't have like the brothers around you or maybe you're a woman and you don't have sisters around you, you know what I'm saying? Realize that godly counsel comes from the Lord. It's like, bro, when I tell you like God answered my prayers, I was praying for my bro. Especially like when I really started taking my walk with the Lord serious, I prayed for my bros day and night. And now I see like, bro, we all really locked in walking with the Lord. It wasn't like they never believed in God. Like we all believed in God, but we're taking our relationship with the Lord serious. We're going to church consistently. We're praying to him. We're talking to him about everything. That's beautiful, bro. And I think a lot of people put like this standard, like, oh, to truly be living a life that glorifies God, I gotta be doing ABC. I gotta be doing that. No, bro. Sharing your testimony is good enough. Walking in faith is good enough. Talking to God's good enough. But I realize something you shouldn't do is be private with your relationship with God, bro. People ask you what keeps you in peace. The Lord, bro. It's little things like that, just including him in your daily life, that has power. There's power in your testimony. A lot of people believe that testimony only starts when you go through something miraculous. Realize you waking up and opening your eyes is miraculous, but a lot of people don't believe in that. But the Bible talks about how tomorrow is not promised. So every day I wake up, I thank the Lord for waking me up because I realize he still had a calling for me. Because when my purpose is here done on this earth, I truly believe I'm not going to wake up that one day. I'm going to be present with the Lord. But I realize to die as a Christian is gain because I get to be present with the Lord. And it's like, bro, when I tell you, I done had so many ups and downs with the Lord. So much lore with the Lord where he done see me at my best. He done see me at my worst. He done met me at my lowest. He done broke me out of things I used to struggle with. But that's rejoicing, like, and I'm so thankful for that, bro. Is that through it all, I knew that God was for me.
Go back and wake up.
Are you in right now?
Yeah.
You're in a buy, right? It's respecting high or low. I would trail your stop loss at profit though. Because it's starting to build like the wick and starting to push down. But right now it's still respecting it. But I would say every time you get on profit.
For the day, and then I'm about to get up, get in the shower.
Yeah, bro. I slide after 8 once I turn off stream, but yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's definitely on the uptrend. So I would trail it. I would trail it if you are you still in it? RJ.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would trail stop loss because it's pushing. It's looking good right now.
I was waiting for the next candle and I'm gonna hop in.
Oh, you're not in yet?
No.
It got 7 minutes until this candle closes, so. But it definitely switched the trend.
That doesn't, yeah, that sometimes our 15-minute doesn't really necessarily matter because if it's going in the uptrend, I mean, when that closes, it's going to shoot up even more. So, like,
Yeah, it
that's how I
should.
look at it too.
It's not even going on a downtrend now. It's on an uptrend. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely on an uptrend. But this is why I always say, like, for me, I think it's better to get in earlier than later because what you gotta realize is when that 15 shoots, like, if you even
Well,
miss
it
it like
already
by
hit
a
its low.
millisecond,
I already looked back. It already hit the low.
oh, the lowest has been. The 1 hour is green. Yeah, everything is showing that it's pulling up. On the 4 hour is green. Even
Yeah.
daily is green. It's playing this fair value gap that was playing right now.
Yeah, that's a very good point, though.
Hmm.
And we be hopping in on that correction, and that's what ICC means. I don't even know. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, mm,
This is the
I don't
continuation
know.
though, for sure. The wick, where you see these long wicks, that be like the correction too. It's like ICC not only works on just like the market, but ICC. I don't know if you have my stream pulled up, but ICC is like the so when you see like the breakout rate, like ICC happens, like that indication happens when it makes a higher low or a lower low. I mean not a higher low, a higher high or a lower low. So when you see like that breakout, like which candle are you looking at? I mean which chart? 15 right now?
Clean wicks too.
You know, yeah, it's good.
Pause like this is shooting up.
Let me just mark my chart though. Um, but back to the word chat. So in verse 40 it says, and he took his staff in his hands and chose them 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in a shepherd's bag which he had, even in his script. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him. For he was but a youth, ruddy and a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? By the Philistines cursed David by his gods. And the Philistines said to David, come to me, I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the earth and to the beasts of the field. So you see, he's talking crazy to David. He says, bro, you dare like bring him? You think he's stopping me? He was talking hot. And I ain't gonna lie, I know, like, if I'm David, bro, I'm kind of pissed. He's like, he's talking too reckless, bro. I would want to fight him at this point, you know what I'm saying? And I realized, like, bro, why he is a big guy, you ultimately gotta realize, like, bro, he's still gonna fall to the mighty name of who? And this why I realized, like, David was he was really popping it for the Lord. And I love it. It says, then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear, with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defiled. He doesn't come in himself. He comes knowing his identity in Christ, knowing, hey, the Lord is who gives me strength. So I know that I can beat you. I'm not worried about you, bro. He's like, you're nothing. You're nothing in comparison to my God. Like, that's basically what he's saying. And that's how we should feel. We should talk to our problems like this. We should talk to our worries like this. And that's my go-to now when I worry or feel stressed is to pray and to read my word, bro. Because I realize, like, that peace that you're looking for is only going to come from God. It's not going to come from anything else. It says, this day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and take thy head from thee. And I will give the carcasses
Oh
of the
my
host
God.
of the Philistine this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that
Yeah.
there is a God in Israel. And Oh, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord, and he will give you into our hands. So he says he doesn't need a sword or spear. He doesn't need all these bold things. He just needs the Lord, and if the Lord is fighting for him, he can't lose. And bro, I think that's so powerful to recognize. Like, if God is fighting for you, you can't lose. It's like that should empower you to like move, bro. Like, truly have faith to move anything. Like, have faith that moves mountains because you just trust that God can do all things. And I realize, like, if you want to kill fear, you need to have more faith. If you want to kill doubt and anxiety, you need to have more faith in God. You know, it's like if you're having a problem with lusting, you need to love more. Who should you love? And not chasing the love in the world is chasing after Jesus, loving him more. Because the more you love him, the more he can surround you with someone that will give you that same type of love. Because I realize if they don't know Jesus, they can't love you in a way like that is going to reflect the love of the Lord. Meaning that the way that people that have a relationship with the Lord, they go to the Lord with their problems. If you're not walking with the Lord, who are you typically going to for your problems? People in the world, either yourself, your friends, things like that. So now the counsel isn't from the Lord, the counsel is from their friends. And I realized that the Lord will ultimately convict you of things you need to do. And that's why I'm so like ready to wait for my wife, is because I know that when I find my wife, bro, she gonna be bearing the fruits of the Spirit. She gonna be walking in her calling, her God-given calling. And I know that she's going to be running to the Lord. The same way I'm running to the Lord, she's running to the Lord. So we're both running to the Lord and going and pushing to be better. Versus if we don't, if she's not Spirit-led, who is she running to? The world. And what does the world do? It tears you away. The world, as soon as we have an argument, she going to run to her friend. Her friend going to be, oh, you should break up.
I got out, but
well, that's cooked.
I should get back in.
Like, that's where it's dangerous, bro.
Yeah,
so I realized, like, you gotta truly trust the Lord, but trust him with every aspect of your life.
25,000?
And it says, and it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew near to David, to meet David, that David hastened and ran towards the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag, took thence a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his head, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. And so David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood before the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. So remember, what was the deal they said? That they would surely be the servants, right, if they had lost. Now we see they don't even want to honor that. They are running. They're fearfully running because they're afraid. That should show you something. That people fear. They worry. They don't hold up their ends of the deal. That's why we need to stop trusting people and trust God. Notice David didn't boast in his own strength. He boasted in the mighty power of the Lord. And that parallels Ephesians 6:10, which says, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Realize it says his mighty power. Boast in him. You don't need to trust yourself. You don't need to trust that you can do this. You need to trust that God can do all things.
I was just gonna
take yourself out and be confident in God. It says, and the men of Israel and all of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way of Shekharim, even unto Gab and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem. But he put his armor in his tent. So we see David was victorious because he trusted in the Lord, not himself. David was successful because he trusted in the Lord, not himself. And then it ends with, and when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, as thou soul liveth, king, I cannot tell. And the king said, inquire thou, whose son the stripling is. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his head. And Saul said unto him, whose son art thou, young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse,
What?
the Bethlehemite. Realize he promised
Man,
to
I
give
think
him
they
the
picked me
wife.
up
He
at the
promised to
Bethlehem
give him
and
all
all
these
that shit.
prizes for killing the king. But David didn't do it for the prizes. He
You
did
got
it because he
$50
wanted
right off
God
the
to get
rip.
the glory, and he wanted this enemy of
You,
God to be
you
taken
got
down by the Lord,
put
so
your son
God's
up.
glory could be shown. That's the heart posture. That's the heart posture we should have
I
in
mean, you can wait
everything
till
we do.
tomorrow though, nigga.
And it's like, now that I think about it, I definitely need to take an exam. So I'm gonna actually wrap the stream up here. I'm gonna take my profits. We went up a bin today. We finished the chapter, and
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
hopefully that's some important takeaways for y'all.
I'm
I
about
love
to
y'all.